Well, today it's going to be a little different. I messed up my back, so I am not presentable. So I will make this a little different, maybe with pictures or something. But here we go. As all of you know who have been on my site for a while, you know that this time of year I usually talk about weather and dangers of the weather. So you might say, well, at least I'm hearing impaired. I don't have anything to do with weather. And actually, we all do, especially those of us who can't hear what's going on around us, especially at night. Uh, I would suggest that, we've talked about this before to prepare, a kit and have something you can grab and go, a system in which you can hear any kind of announcements that come through from the National Weather Center, um, or international. If you have one in your country that announces bad weather or dangers of a flood, or dangers of a see what else can it be, a dam that might break, tsunamis, any of those kind of things. Tsunamis are really hard to get away from, but uh, mudslides, any of those kind of things that you can grab and go your hearing apparatuses and be out of there. Sometimes it takes us a few moments to figure out what's going on and what the danger is. And in these days we have a lot of alerts that go on, and it's to our advantage to be able to know when an alert comes by that, a possible landslide, a possible mudslide, possible tornado, possible hurricanes. Now, hurricanes and tornadoes, we usually get advance warnings, and therefore, you can have a plan. Or flooding, dangers of flooding. So we have that advantage, and we should take advantage of those notifications so that we can plan ahead in terms of, what will I do, or what do I need to do to be able to stay clear of the danger that might come in a few moments, in a day. Usually it's in a day. So, you all know what I'm talking about and understand what I'm talking about. Um, Here in the United States, we've had a lot of trouble with hurricanes, tornadoes. Tornadoes have been very problematic. And, we have what's called Tornado Alley, in which tornadoes are very predictable and you can expect them. But, I don't even know if Tornado Alley even exists anymore because um, we have tornadoes everywhere lately, and it's very problematic. Even in the East, where we didn't have tornadoes in the United States, now we do. So it's very, very important for you to safeguard your hearing apparatuses and where you're going to grab and go, and safety for your family as well. If you're the coordinator of the family, if you are the caregiver of that family, if even if sometimes they don't depend on you because of your hearing loss, but you can speak up and just say, no, I have a few ideas here. So let's take a look at these ideas and then bounce them off in the family, and then you can have a plan going forward. And that depends on where you live and what part of the country, what part of the world you live in, because every part of the world is having trouble with all kinds of weather situations and ground situations, mudslides and flooding, and the dams breaking, and it's been crazy. Uh, Earthquakes in Japan, they've been one after another. So in Japan, I think they're very well trained already, and their buildings are awesome. They're very resistant of earthquakes, and they've had some really bad ones these days. So be prepared for, if Japan needs some donations from us to be able to recover from those situations. So, we need to stick together as a family, as a community, as a world to help each other in these dangerous times. Um, and this is the time, spring into summer, summer into fall. This is when it happens. So, so this is when I call everybody's attention. Okay, people, let's look at our plans. If you don't have one, that's okay. Let's look at, what you can do to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more prepared in these situations. So the Red Cross webpage has some great ideas. The Red Cross, works internationally as well, so you can take a look at their safety precautions for bad weather and ground situations in which you need to be careful. I know it's hard. Sometimes these things happen all of a sudden, and all of a sudden you have a flood in your back door, and things get bad really quick. But or mudslides. We've had a lot of mudslides in California and some in Texas and some other places. So those are hard to predict. But nevertheless, we can, if we know we are in a dangerous region, that it's important for us to always be prepared. So that was the reflection of today. Even though we are hearing impaired, it doesn't matter. We can speak up and say, I have these ideas in which we can be cautious of fires, floods, mudslides, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and these are some ideas that I have. And just speak out because it's needed. It's needed, and you could save quite a few lives that way, and especially save your family. The material things are secondary. Even our hearing aids, if you have to rip out of the back door and not grab your hearing aids, you're going to live. You will live without your hearing aids. You will live without your cochlear implants. Those are replaceable, but your life is not. So, those are the things, if you can grab them, great, awesome. But if you can't, just rip out of that back door and get yourself to a place that's safe, higher ground or underground. It just depends on what is going on. So, this is one of those tapes or videos that I make to remind everyone to look at their plans and see if uh, it is applicable to today. If you need to upgrade it for today, for your situation, maybe you moved recently and you need to upgrade it. Um, so you know, it's really important, for yourself, for your neighbors, for your family. Um, I've been in 3 major earthquakes, and I was in the earthquake of 1989, and that was a mess, and we just kinda stuck together, helped each other, and, it was, a 7.2, 7.3. It was called the San Francisco earthquake, it had nothing to do with San Francisco, but never mind. Uh, it was in Santa Cruz where it hit, that was the center of the earthquake, and it came down that mountain in form of rolling waves and destroyed my neighborhood. So it was pretty awful. Um, I want to remember Mr. Schumann, who was my next door neighbor. He died of that earthquake, the impact of that earthquake on him. He had a heart condition. So he did not die inside his home. He built his home with his own hands, and due to the impact of seeing his home partially destroyed. He couldn't take it and passed away. So I want to dedicate this recording to him, and to his wife, his family. It was a terrible loss, um, but those are the things that we need to think about. Everyone, to think about ourselves and our families and our neighbors, and to be ready to put out a helping hand when these things happen. Sometimes are predictable, sometimes are not, and because the world is what it is, and we're getting very, very strong climate change issues and horrible tornadoes and storms. We need to stick together, help each other with new ideas on how to keep ourselves safe, and in our housing. Our housing methodologies need to change, I think, by now. And maybe we need to change, where we live, how we live, and to reduce the impact of these horrible natural incidences. All right, folks. That was my reflection for today. Sorry you won't see my face. I injured my back and I am not ready to be on camera, but I didn't want to miss Thursday hearing last chat, and for you to have something to reflect about and to work on. All right. Any ideas that you have, any suggestions you have for your neighbors, for others, feel free to post them down below, and we will share them.